What is going on? It is James Plays, and I'm coming at you with another episode of City Building. So, yeah, as you can see, the beginning of this was kind of glitchy. And, my entire audio just was corrupted. So, I did this, live, but right now I'm doing it, in post, because the audio was corrupted. But we're building a hotel, and right there I'm working on the elevator. It's going to be an ovular-shaped hotel. I think ovular is a word. Ovular. I think it's a word. And if it's not, I'm saying it's a word. Anyway, so I was planning on making this an actual slime elevator. But then I realized that I'm not going to have the room for it in this build. And I also realized, and later I realized I'm not going to have the room for it in this build. And it's just, plus I'm not the greatest with redstone. I mean, I'm fine with it, but it probably would not have turned out well. So I'm going with a staircase there, I think. So I'm using quartz, diorite, polished and unpolished. I'm using quartz pillars, not the actual quartz block. Quartz stairs and slabs, black glass, and yeah. So right here, I just carved out a little space for the door. And I'm going to go back here and continue working on the elevator. The elevator. So, yeah. I'm just trying to, I'm going to make a window on this side of this elevator, and it's going to be, kind of open, so there's going to be, a balcony that goes all the way down to the bottom. It's going to be a nice big glass window. It's like a door area there to get into this elevator staircase thing. And I'm just going to use black glass all the way up. And I'm just going to fill in this. Yeah. So I'm just going to continue that up. Change some stuff around later, maybe. Add in floor. Maybe do elevator if I figure it out. Anyway, so we're going to go over to the door. Start working on that. And the whole goal of this is to make, a really fancy hotel in the center of the downtown area, and that is just what we're going to try and do with this. So right here I'm choosing the floor so I don't have to go get these doors back out of the creative mode later, and that's what we're going to use for the entrance to the actual building. Next, I think we're just, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but next, we're gonna, I'm insetting the door, okay, that makes sense, but next, after this, we're going to, take the, dark oak planks and carve a little hole, I guess, around the, the edge, leaving one space there. The edge that remains cobblestone is going to be the interior wall. We're double stacking the walls, and the stuff that I'm breaking is what is going to end up being the floor. So I'm just doing this real quick. I'm moving this out so it's easier and there's more room, and so that the door isn't partially blocked by wall. So yeah, I'm just going around breaking out blocks, and that's what I'm doing for the next minute or so. So yeah, I'm almost done with this, and then we're going to start working on I think we're going to fill in the outer layer of the this outer ring that I'm filling in right now. We're going to fill that in with the dark oak. In between episodes, I fill it up with I fill up the center area of that with dark oak. And after we finish up doing this ring, we're just going to be working on the front of the building, making sure the front of it looks really nice. And then, yeah, that's basically what we're doing with this. So as you can see, the floor is going to be a dark color, partially to contrast with the outside, partially because I like dark oak, and it looks like it's a good block. So that part where I am right now, looking around, that's all going to be dark oak. Yeah. I'm just kind of flying around talking to you guys, aren't I? Too bad the audio's gone. But yeah. So I'm going to start working on the front of the building right now. Also, TU34 came out for this pretty recently, and I do have to say, it's really annoying. It came out when I was recording this, the day of actually, and it changed the movement system, so if I seem like I'm kind of flying around and it looks weird, that's probably because it is weird. I don't like it. But here, as you can see, I am, I wish they just left the movement system the same as it was, because it was fine. But as you can see, I am pulling up these pillars, so like to have a main frame, I guess, for the building. I really like these circular-ish buildings, because they just, I don't know, there's something about them. It's just the way that they just look really nice, I think. And they're just one of my favorite things to build. I promise I won't bore you with circular buildings, though, throughout this entire thing. I think I pretty much eyeballed this oval, this ellipse. But, right here I am, just building up, and I notice a problem here, because it's a 2 and then a 3, and that should never happen when you're making an ellipse. If you're on the longer side going to the shorter side, the block should get shorter, and so it shouldn't become a... Yeah, so that's what's going on here. I'm just taking these pillars up about 8 blocks, I think. Yeah, yep, counting it right now, 8 blocks. Great minds. Anyway, so as I'm taking up these pillars, I'm trying to figure out where I want the roof to be, and I realized that this is going to be the that block I placed is going to be the floor for the second level. Yeah, so I'm bringing them up to waist height of the second floor, because I'm making the roof of this. I believe I made it 6 blocks high. Yeah, so I'm just taking up these pillars here to the 8 blocks, and then after I finish taking up these pillars, we work on filling it in the front, making the entrance look really nice, and just in general making it look like a really fancy, nice building that you'd want to take a rest in. So as you can see, this part's not the hardest part. The hard part comes with the filling it in and trying to make it work well on both the outside and the inside. And as you can see here, I got it done with the back, and I'm just kind of like thinking about what I want to do. I definitely want to put some windows in on the front. Probably not so much windows on the back, just because it's the side of the buildings are going to be other buildings. I was thinking about putting a garden behind the building, so I think I end up doing something with that. I bring back these windows so that the windows are sunk back in a little bit, and so that they're just not stuck out too far. The way the textures aren't really meshing together. That's not the best thing. That's not really what you want when the textures mesh. I'm making a little crossbeam thing here, just above the door. Just trying to frame it really nice. And then here I start working with the stairs, trying to get something that looks really nice. And I indeed go with this design, I believe, because I just like the way that looks. I end up doing the same thing over here, even though they're not symmetrical, and I put a window in the space next to it, I believe. But I think right here I'm just unsure if I want to do that. Yeah, I toy with putting a window through the entire thing. But the thing is, you want to have your windows sunken in these kinds of builds, if you have the room. Because you can't just... because the textures of having a glass block right next to a normal block, and then having a window, like the wall just becomes window. Like that's not how real houses work. Like, for example, if you in like your own house, for example, if you have like a window, you'll notice that the wall, the window is not the same thickness, and it's not good to have that same thickness. And right here, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get this fine without making the window smaller. I end up just making the window smaller, as you can see right here, because I really like that design on the other side. And right now I'm talking about how it's not the same on both sides, but that's good because symmetry in modern buildings is often an enemy. In a lot of things, the symmetry of buildings can be an asset, but in this kind of setting, it's not an asset. So as you can see, I am making the window, framing the window a little bit more. I am just kind of working with this. This is the part where I kind of start moving to the side. No. Okay, yeah, this is the part where I'm just like not really quite thinking full capacity. I forget that the roof is supposed to be there, so I put a window there. I think I end up making the roof a little bit higher, actually, to make it work. Here, I'm taking this up a level for some reason. I'm talking about how this wall needs to be there needs to be a focus on the wall, like, because it would just be really boring because it's like one of the flat walls in the interior, but we don't really want a window there because it's just a building. So now I'm getting out materials to help make the window, help frame the window a little bit more. And next I'm going to start moving over to the left, I believe, to work on, or to the left side facing the building. I'm going to start filling in those walls and windows. Yeah. So right here, I'm just going to start filling it in. The walls are going to go around the windows, so like you build up the windows, or you build up the interior wall and it's going to like surround the window. Right here, I'm putting in a window right there. It's going to go up quite a bit. And I spend a little time here trying to figure out how to make this work. And it's kind of working after a while, but gotta get rid of some blocks in my inventory to get new blocks to make it look fine. So as you can see, this window's kind of on the edge of this, and I just have to take up the wall. I think I end up changing the wall a little bit. Yeah, I'm just here messing with the wall for a little bit. I come up with a stair pattern that I like eventually. Yeah, kind of like, it's like this, but I did change it a little bit, I believe. But as you can see, I'm just fiddling around with it. Sometimes you just gotta fiddle with it till you get it right, because you can't just leave it wrong, because then it just doesn't look right if you leave it some ways. And you know, that can be fine, but at the same time, it's always important to make sure that your building or your build is it works. You want to make sure it works with the theme of the building and the rest of the exterior. And sometimes you just can't leave stuff like that. But you see, I put a slab there because it would look really bad if you could like see the floor underneath the wood, or yeah, you can see the wood underneath the window, and it just comes to a stop, and it's just like cobblestone. So you gotta separate the colors and stuff to make it look better. Now back here, I'm talking about how I think I might add a garden back there because there needs to be something back there. Raising this up a little bit, and yeah. So at this point, I'm just building up because I'm just building up this to see if it looks good. I kind of bounce back and forth in this, I must say. So yeah, here I start filling up these, trying to get a nice design that I like, and I think I just end up going with a some kind of combination of the diorite and polished diorite. And then I kind of use that kind of design throughout the rest of the build. For all the walls without windows and all the non-special walls on this floor. Yes, that's looking good. Forgot a block right there, but fixed it. Over here, I kind of extend the same pattern over the window, and it's looking pretty good. I flip over some of the stairs to just create a nice little contrast or changing pattern so that it doesn't all look the same. And I think I end up with leaving it like that for a little bit. Again, putting a block over the window. And then I fly out here just to take a look at how everything looks. Because you gotta, on buildings like this, when you're just kind of freehanding it, you just got, like, you don't have, like, a specific plan. You kind of just have to, like, take a step back, take a couple steps back every now and then, and just, like, look at it, just see, okay, is this what I'm going for with this building? And, is it turning out like I wanted it to turn out? And how I hoped that this building would turn out. And right here, we're coming up on the on what I'm gonna do later. I'm just planning out a little bit. In between the next episode, I fill in the floor and work on the walls some, I believe. And yeah, I just kind of work on making sure that this building looks good. Really, the idea is we want to furnish this floor, and then we want to move up to the next level. And once we furnish that level, since it's a hotel, we can pretty much copy-paste all the floors until we get to the top of the build. At which point there will be probably a penthouse, and then the roof might be different. I might add something special onto the roof. And here I'm just adding, I'm trying to see what I can do with the window here, I think. Yeah. And I think that it's looking pretty good so far. And you don't want to make all the windows the same size and the same height, because eventually that can get really boring. Yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up this window, and then I think I start wrapping up the video. Misplacing blocks, as per usual. Just gonna fill in the rest of this stuff with the normal diorite, and I started thinking about that. I think I end up moving. Yeah. See, that's like that touching there is something that I don't like, so I end up changing it back. Glad I wasn't incompetent when I was building this. Anyway, but that's, I think, where I start wrapping up the video. In the next episode, we work on more on finishing the outer wall and work on the interior of this floor, and then we're going to start moving up the floors later. So this is where I start saying thank you guys for watching. If you liked, like, subscribe, and hope to see you around for a following video. Tips on or why you didn't like it, if you didn't like it, in the comments. Much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for your help. Can't do this without you guys.